Aloha, it's Kyra. I'm making this video per request in one of the comments. In my video that I did on the Inky75, I was asked to do a comparison video between the Inky75 and the Rainy75, and I thought that I would also throw in another popular 75% board, the Bridge75. So we're going to do a quick sound test for each of these boards, and then we are going to do comparisons. Okay, so now for the comparison. I will be focusing more on comparing the Rainy75 with the Inky75, but I will also talk a little bit about the Bridge75. So first of all, similarities. They're all 75% keyboards. They all are VIA compatible. They all have double shot PBT keycaps and are hot swappable and have tri-mode connectivity. So those are the major similarities. In terms of differences, the Bridge75 does have the ball catch assembly, which the Rainy75 and the Inky75 don't. So, okay, I want to talk about why I prefer the Inky75 to the Rainy75. So first of all, I want to put out there that when it comes to keyboards, as people say all the time, so much of it is up to preference. And you cannot argue that the Rainy75 is a more premium keyboard than the Inky75. It is, however, about $80 more expensive, at least for the Rainy75 standard. It's about $140, whereas the Inky75 is $69, so about a $70 difference actually. But yeah, like I said, you cannot argue that the Rainy75 is more premium. The finish is more premium. The back weight is more premium. The keycaps also feel a little more premium. And of course it has its signature Rainy75 sound signature. Now, why do I prefer the Inky75? Personally, I think it just comes down to, for me, mostly the sound signature and personality. Granted, could I have got the Rainy75 in a different color with a little more pizzazz? Sure. But ultimately, I just think this raspberry red is very fun. It has a lot more personality and charm than the standard Rainy75. And I prefer the sound signature and feel on the Inky75 versus the Rainy75. I do think that the Rainy75 has a very unique sound signature that does sound like rain, but Personally, it's a little too high-pitched and clacky for me, whereas Inky75 has a more creamy and poppy sound signature that feels slightly more muted, and it just feels really good to type on. And since I've owned both of these keyboards, I have reached for the Inky75 a lot more than I have reached for the Rainy75, and that's just the truth. So if it were up to budget, this one has a better value. It just does. Now, if I wanted to go with something more premium, obviously the Rainy75. Now, with that said, I have just tried a new keyboard that I think blows all three of these out of the water and is now my current favorite keyboard in the budget category. And that keyboard is the Yunzi AL80. So I just got this keyboard and it is so addictive to type on. It has this amazing typing feel and sound with the Cocoa Cream V2 switches. That is very difficult to explain how good it feels and sounds to type on unless you just try it yourself. I love that it has a knob, and I didn't think I would be into having a screen, but I actually kind of do like this screen. I'm just keeping it real. If I were to do it all over again, I would have bought this board first because I cannot stop typing on it. So with that said, that is my quick comparison video between the Inky75 and the Rainy75 and a couple other 75% keyboards. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Aloha.